Hey Giants fans, Shaun O'Hara here with Mike Kafka, offensive coordinator. Mike, what do you say we go for a little ride? Check out this new Lyric, all-electric Cadillac, and let's talk a little shop.
Let's do it.
All right.
We're ready.
All right, so we got a new title, assistant head coach. It sounds very official. What does that mean, and what are your new duties?
Yeah, I think on top of the offensive coordinator duties, Dave's wanted to get me more involved just from an organizational standpoint. So I think where we're at right now in the offseason, being involved in some more interviews and some of the talks with building some of the plans for the offseason and how we want to approach that. So it's been cool. I think as the season goes on, as the offseason goes on, and the season, I think things will start to roll more. But right now it's really fluid, and and Dave's done a really nice job of keeping me included.
Well, last year, obviously, a challenging season, not just wins and losses, but with the injuries. You typically don't like to have to go to your third quarterback, let alone your second. But how did having Tommy DeVito and having Tyrod come in, and how did that kind of change the offense, and how did that make you better because you kind of had to tailor things a little bit differently?
Sure. I think one of the biggest challenges as a coach is, and one of the things that I take a lot of pride on, not only myself, but just our staff, is our ability to adjust and adapt. And, we ask our players to do that on a daily basis. We ask our coaching staff to do that when we're building our schemes and building our, how we want to operate as an offense. And so, I thought those two guys particularly did a really nice job of just stepping in, and really throughout all of training camp, all of the OTAs, these guys were honed in to doing their job the right way, and then their number was called, and they stepped up and were able to win some games for us. And I think that kind of culture, I think it really becomes, it allows guys to kind of see that from one of the most important positions on the field, and it really starts lighting fires into other guys as well.
You've got unique perspective in that capacity. You were drafted by that other team. Yep. down the turnpike. Yep. So you've been in their shoes. You've been a young quarterback. You've kind of learned new offenses and new languages. Yep. How does that help you when you're trying to teach them the new offense, the new schemes, the new, all the new languages?
Yeah, I think it's always a challenge because everyone learns a little bit different. So you got to spend a lot of time trying to figure out what makes them tick, how they learn the best. And then you want to build a plan, as an offense, like holistically, you build a plan. That way you can try and hit as many parts of the learning cycle as you can. And so you work with the coaches, you work with the players, and you kind of build this thing out so that each guy can kind of stay on schedule with what we're putting in.
So where did you learn the concepts? Obviously you were with Andy Reid in Kansas City for a long time, but is a lot of the things that you do conceptually and from a scheme standpoint, is that stuff you learned from him, or is it kind of like a hybrid between what you've got here with Dave?
Yeah, I think it's been a hybrid. For the most part, I think it's kind of rooted in what Coach Daves has brought from his time in New England and Buffalo and Alabama, and being able to incorporate some of the things that I've learned, really in all the systems that I've been in, and then also spending a lot of time with Coach Reid in the Chiefs system. So it's been a nice little melting pot, and on top of that, it's the experiences of all the coaches we have on staff. So a lot of people have been a lot of different places, done things different ways, and so it's that learning, that growth that we've taken on as a staff to really make it our offense.
With Daniel Jones now obviously coming off of the ACL injury, he's going to be rehabbing a lot in the spring. How do you help him get better when he can't physically take the reps that I'm sure he wants to take?
Yeah, I think within the scope of his rehab, his ability to get mental reps, that's going to be super important. Obviously, you're not being able to do the physical stuff, but the mental reps are going to be super important. And I think Daniel will do an awesome job of building in those mental reps, taking it, understanding, and then being able to still communicate, be on the field and communicate with the players and make sure that they kind of see it through his lens and they're both seeing it the same way.
What's one area that you really want to see some growth from in this offense?
I'd like to see us take a step forward in our explosive pass game. I'm really excited about the guys we have. I'm excited about the schemes that we've been talking about all off season and implementing those things. So those are in those receivers and the skill group that I've been talking about. I think those are the guys that are going to step up in that role.
Protection helps with that, right? It's anytime you want an explosive play, right? That takes a little bit more time than some of the other ones, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I think our O-line will take a step forward as well and continue to grow. But all 11 guys are going to have to do that, and I think, it starts with the O-line and those skill guys, but I'm excited for, being an explosive offense.
Oh, that's great. Well, thanks so much, Mike. It's great
thank you.
talking football a little bit. Appreciate the time. And Giants fans, thank you for listening to this. This interview was brought to you by Cadillac. Visit your Tri-State Cadillac dealership near you, and you could test drive this all-electric Lyriq brought to you by Cadillac.